right, Kathy?
And you put a new road in and everybody wants to use it.
And then you have people walking in the middle of the road.
I know.
It's outrageous, isn't it?
Pedestrians.
We're ready whenever you are, Mayor.
Since we're all set,
I'm all good.
we're all good. I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise and pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Renee, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Canfield.
Here.
Commissioner Orthwine.
Here.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Here.
Mayor Morgan.
Here.
Also present and participating are Town Manager Dunham, Assistant Town Attorney Nazaro, CFO Bymaster, Chief Jones, and myself.
Thank you. We've been presented with the minutes from our last meeting on March 14th. Are there any corrections, comments, changes, or a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting, March 14th.
Second.
Renee?
And before I call the roll, at the last meeting, Vice Mayor Stanley had recused himself from a vote and filed Form 8B as required by the state of Florida. So Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Canfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwine?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Any changes to the agenda, Mr. Dunn?
Yes, Mayor, I do want to add one item under the manager's report from Mr. Anthony Beltran.
Okay, we'll make that item A4. Very good. Our next meeting is May 9th at 9 a.m. for anyone who wishes to attend. Public comment. Anybody wish to speak? Christine.
I like Commissioner Orthwine flew in right at the last minute. I thought, oh my God, their public comments are early. I got to get here. Christina Hassett, Florida Coalition for Preservation. I just wanted to remind you guys on Tuesday night at 5:30 in the chapel is our annual meeting. And we'll be going over some of the things that Chief and the Mayor talked about at the Gulfstream Civic Association meeting because it was so impressive. But we'll also be talking about what is happening in Briney, State of the Union in Briney. Also be talking about the explosion that is happening, getting ready to happen in downtown Boynton. And you say, well, that's not real close to me, but I know you shop there and I know that you sometimes use Ocean Avenue Bridge, maybe not now because it's under construction, but I think it's always important that on the barrier island, we understand what's happening at both ends because it eventually affects you. And especially if George Bush Bridge is not usable, that means you're probably going to be going north to be using some bridges. So anyways, that's what we're going to be talking about. And I look forward to seeing you guys all there. Thanks.
Thanks, Christine. Anyone else wish to speak?
Mayor, the Gulfstream School asked me to announce that they are having a blood drive on April 22nd. They are opening it up to the community, but they would like the community to come between the hours of 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. So the
Okay.
flyer
9
states
to 1.
7:30 to 2:30, but they'd like the community at 9 to 1.
9 to 1, donate blood at the school. Very good. Thanks. Town manager. CIP.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Well, I do have good news with the update for the CIP. The contractor has connected all of the houses in the core area up to the new water main. It was approved by the health department in like one day. We thought it would take a couple of weeks, but it was one day. They approved the water. So they were able to begin to hook up all of the houses to the new water main. So they're all hooked up.
That's great.
And that was a major part of the construction that we wanted for them to complete before we move on to phase 2, as you know. They are probably going to finish the restoration of the grass, and it could be by the end of today, but at least by the end of Monday. They're getting new pallets of grass coming in. I mean, we've still been working on water meters at this point. Let me qualify what I just said. All of the homes are hooked up. The 14 homes where we were having to move the meter from the alleyway out to the edge of the pavement, half of those are done at this point. So they're still working on those.
That's by Line Tech, right?
Yeah, yes. Yep.
But roadway sub or their guys finished everything else on the other 68, right?
Yes,
That was quick.
I know.
How
I
many-
guess,
how
I
many
guess
more
they were
homes?
able to do 5 a day. Actually, a
Seems
lot
to
more
be the
than that.
case.
So
Yeah.
How many more of the alley homes?
7,
7 more?
yes, sir.
Okay.
And then when we start phase 2, there will be 13 that will have the same treatment done.
When do
on
they,
Gulf
when's
Spring.
Line Tech expect to finish those 7 homes?
Good morning, Commission. The ones that are in the alley, they have 6 completed. They're working on 2 today. They have to bore Pippins and the gentleman just north of Sacropani's because they're too difficult
But the little ones,
entries for the water, yeah. So those will be the last 2 that they take care of. They have other ones already exposed and ready to start assembling. The problem is that they have to go through Highland Beach to get the permits looked at and approved and signed off for them to activate the water. So they have 6 that are completed already. Highland Beach is coming out, I guess they came out yesterday maybe. I didn't hear if they'd actually made it out here or not, but they're scheduled to come back out again today to check the ones that they've already have installed. They have been certified through Line Tech, so the backflows don't need to be checked. It's just a connection of the homes. Everything else has been completed.
But also, in addition to that, are the backflow preventers.
Correct. Those have to be certified through Line Tech, and then everything gets qualified all in one time when they do the inspections for the permit. So they sign off on each one once they get it completely done, certified, and then inspected.
yeah, Line Tech is certifying their own back.
Correct.
Yeah, we don't have to have another
No.
contract.
Right.
So the homes that have been connected.
Certified, installed, and
from the
inspected.
alley, but they still don't have the water.
No, they have water.
They have the old water.
No,
supply.
they have
No,
new
no,
water.
this is,
I thought it has to be certified and,
It is, the
Turn it
water
on
is
and
certified.
inspect it.
they turn it on, then inspect it.
Yeah, we don't want a
Correct.
service disruption. Yeah, you turn it on and they come back and make sure everything's right.
right.
One would not expect
So Highland's
that to
got
be
it
the
checked.
answer. but
Correct.
Very good. Good, very good. Thank you, Anthony.
It's been going really well, I have to say.
It has been. But no,
Well, we have water.
I do have to say that the last couple of weeks, they have been putting a lot more attention by means of more crews out there to get this job done.
When they focus on it, they can do it.
They can.
Right.
Correct. So actually, we are beginning the process to get to substantial completion. And I'm just going to ask Trey to just take a minute to kind of recite that process that we'll be going through in the next 2 or 3 days, our staff and the engineers and the inspectors and the contractors.
So the process is very straightforward under the contract. To reach substantial completion, roadway will need to submit an items considered incomplete to the engineer. The engineer, Baxter Woodman, the town, and roadway will then walk the site, see if there are any other issues that need to be addressed before substantial completion is reached. And then barring any issues, we would have our engineer then issue them a certificate of substantial completion. If there are some issues that we believe are in the way of substantial completion, then we submit a list of those items, and then those are addressed before we reach substantial completion. So essentially, substantial completion is when the project is, and Mr. Stanley can probably recite this from memory, it is you're receiving the benefit of the project. So the water line being in, the streets being done, the drainage being connected and hooked up, that's all substantial completion. You know, if there are a few bushes that need to be replaced, sod, some irrigation things that are separate, we're still receiving the beneficial use of the project. So that would not keep it in way of being substantially complete, and those items would be dealt with afterwards. Once substantial completion for phase 1 is reached, they are, under the contract, allowed to move on to phase 2. So we anticipate that happening as early as next Monday, the 21st.
Now, those items that still need to be completed, I believe they have what is it, 30 days to do that?
It's, you know,
I mean, by contract.
I'm
does it
not sure
state
for-
that? Okay. So that's the status
All right, good.
of the project at this point.
Very good, thank you. If there's anything else on the CIP?
Yeah, let me just mention that and I do have Anthony, if I could, I mean, it's number 4, but can we just
Yeah, just
do
move
that
on.
right now
Sure.
with the CIP? But before that, I just want to mention that the town has had a resident that lives in,
On North County Road.
on North County Road next to the Hermitage that has complained about the dust and is requesting that the town power wash the entire complex. So we're dealing with that right now. I wouldn't do it now if we were to do that because we got a whole nother year to go. But what I am doing is requiring the contractor to keep the site damp and to try to provide some dust control.
So what kind of dust buildup do we have on town hall, the police station over here, and then kind of up from?
I could
Polo
probably
Ridge.
describe the dust on the cars
Yeah.
a little more than, but
So
I really don't notice it
are we
on
running
the
a
town
water
hall.
truck or anything up there?
Yeah,
Up on county? No, we're not running anything up
No, because they're not doing any work on their road, so they're not
there.
required.
Required.
but
to
they
run a
are,
contract.
running the water truck up and down Gulfstream Road. They do the parking lot back here.
Generally twice a day is how they've been running it.
Yeah. How many other complaints have you received?
None.
The only thing I would be careful with this is that every home in Gulfstream right now,
Right.
my house is covered in dust. So if we start doing one,
Exactly.
I just want to point that out, you know?
Well, I'm not sitting here requesting any kind of guidance or answers from the town
Right.
commission. I'm just giving you a heads up, and that's what our conclusion is that you do one, and then every house in town wants to have the same treatment.
Well, condo.
We're just looking at a little bit better site control in the back here.
Correct. I mean, that's the first thing we're going to do
Yeah.
to try to address it. So,
Good.
and then Anthony, if you'll talk about 2900.
2900, okay. All right. 2900 has been approved for their water connection on their side. Wednesday, I had to shut the water off for them from our side to go to 2900 so they can finish doing the construction connection. Well, I ran into a pickle. Problem is that 3 residents got sick, Mr. Gray and the gentleman between, I don't know his name because I very seldomly see him. So they were off until almost 9 o'clock at night with no water. Reason being is because the valves that I have in the pit that we are getting ready to change out
Right.
weren't working. I did everything under the sun to try to get them to work, and they wouldn't work. They wouldn't hold water. So I had to go up to the top of the hill next to the golf course entrance to turn the whole entire system off. And even then, I still had water passing through. So they did it under somewhat pressure of the line, but not enough to provide water into the homes to have them be able to use it. So what I've been proposing was to try to have them sever that line that's on the other side. But the problem is now, once again, I have to turn the water off on this side again in order for them to do that. I couldn't do it the other night because we couldn't see. We couldn't barely even find a valve that was helping shut off the rest of the line that goes out towards Place Soleil entrance, towards the gates. And we luckily found them. Well, we didn't really luckily find them. I made a phone call to Harvell. Harvell wouldn't answer. Wayne called him. He answered. He told him where the line location that the valve was in the property that we didn't even have any idea that was there. We shut it off. We were able to shut the whole system down and able to turn the water back on. Now that we know that valve is there, we know what the functionality of it is. But I can't do the same thing on this side because these 3 valves that I have that are in the golf course won't shut off at all. So I have to shut it off at the top of the hill, which in turn is going to have to happen again today. Because those guys on the other side have been waiting for me for the last 2 weeks to try to get this completed. But with this, everything's happening over here and over there. It's just too overwhelming. I can't shut everything down at one time. There's no way.
How long are we
So,
talking about, Anthony?
say again, sir?
How long are we talking about today?
And that's the thing. I can't give you a time because I don't know how long it's going to take them to sever that over there while it's still under pressure somewhat, and then put a cap on it, and then figure out a way to thrust block it from behind it so it won't push off when I turn the system back on. Because you got to remember, you had a volume of 12-inch line just coming rushing at them once I open it up. And it may push it right off, and then I have a bigger problem because then we won't be able to turn it off and figure out how we're going to fix it. So that's the problem that I'm having
The
today.
impacted residents are those on Gulfview?
Yes, sir, because they're the ones that got switched over to the new one. That's why I was hoping that the contractors would be able to do what they needed to do at the time when they were starting to do the job, and they were on the old system, they wouldn't have been affected. But today I'm shutting down the old system completely so they can put in a hydrant that they need to put in on Banyan, which I'm hoping they'll be able to do today.
Has notice gone out to the residents?
That they're on the old system. That old system is completely off. Everything is connected to the brand new system now, every resident,
But
with the exceptions of the ones that are in the alley. And the ones that are in the alley won't be affected because I get backfed from off of Lakeview.
so can you determine how many people will be affected? by
No one's
this?
going to be affected.
Okay.
No one.
Oh.
Because Lakeview is
I
going to
thought
be
you
shut
said
off
so.
going north and south on the corner where T's on Polo. Those two valves shut off everything going north and south on the west side of Polo. It doesn't affect anyone on the east at all.
We're just giving you an
So,
update. of what's
so-
been going on.
It's a lot to take in. Trust
I'm
me.
not sure I
So are we
understand.
shutting, so you
No,
shut this
no one
down?
at this moment, if I shut the old system off that's still in place on the side of phase one that they were working on, no one will be affected. I have it off literally right now and I haven't gotten any phone calls yet. Because no one is missing. Everyone is on the new system.
I think you're just giving us an update of what's
Yes,
going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
that's,
not
I thought this
Yeah.
was a,
No, no.
Yeah.
it is, but
It's
it's
a-
more towards for 2,900 because I have to do that shut off and it's going to affect the 3 residents that are on Gulfview.
We just
in order
like to
for-
keep you guys
One
informed
of
about
those,
things. that are-
one of those valves supposed to be changed out. Didn't we put in a work order for that?
That's what one of the change orders are because
Yeah,
I ran
we
into
had that on today.
Yeah.
more problems at the face of Gulfview going into the golf
How long
course.
is that, when is that gonna be scheduled? Part of phase 2, or are they gonna
They-
come do it
I'm-
right now?
Going to try to push them to do that at the very beginning of phase 2 when they start
Yeah.
doing the water over on Gulfstream. Yes, sir. Those are my plans.
So that's the
Because
change.
you may have to cut that line again in the future. It's
We-
a weird thing while they're working.
We're having 2 valves installed. I'm having one put right at the vault, which was scheduled to be put in anyway, but I have to remove the other 3 to include another one, which isn't part of the plans. But it is now because I asked them to do it. And then there's going to be a new one installed on the outside of the fence line
Yep.
so I can access it from the fence line.
okay.
That's the
well,
reason
thanks,
why the change order, but the pipe has to be replaced. The whole run from the fence line out off of Gulfview into the
Right.
vaults in the golf course has to be replaced.
Well, I know
Thanks.
Mr. Gottsick's in town this weekend, which is unusual. So,
Yes.
all
All right,
right.
well, thanks for the
Thank you.
update.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thanks,
Anthony. I
Anthony.
know it's complicated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my head's spinning on that one.
No. Me too.
I have to say, Anthony's done a great job.
Okay.
I
Yes.
have to give him a lot of credit. He's out in the field
Oh, yes, no doubt.
24/7.
Thanks, Anthony. Okay, let's move on to Gulfview Road and the West End guardrail and landscaping
I'm
restoration.
sure everybody has seen the guardrail down there. Mr. Canfield? Okay, well, someone hit the guardrail and it's most all the posts are not. It's
2 out of the 5 is mangled.
Yeah. And so the guardrail either needs to be replaced. We could put bollards in there. The law doesn't require us to put anything down there, according to the chief. We do have the red reflectors that I think at a minimum should go back in there. But in order to get the guardrail out, we had to take the podocarpus out. Half of those were not, they were dead. Anyway, so I have this on here again as a for your information item, but they're there are many opportunities as to how we could restore that intersection down there. And I mean, we could include landscaping. There is no water to it. It has been cut off by the resident there on the end. And so we don't have a water source, to water any vegetation.
Where are we on the regrading and sloping and all that down there that we were talking about redoing at the last meeting before we did the final punch list? Anthony?
That is, I had a company come in and remove all the porta-carpus, cut the
Yeah.
grade of the actual edge of the asphalt that's existing now. I've been informed that where the asphalt is finishing now is where it stops. It's not going to be going any further.
Right.
But the grading of the soil that's on the backside of it, with all the issues that I had on Wednesday night, I experimented and turned on the fire hydrant kind of a little bit more than what I should have, and it actually flowed off and drifted off into the
Where are
intercoastal.
we
So-
gonna put in some drains there with the other one, the other Anthony looking at this?
No, it was considered sloping it because we're not through Army Corps of Engineers. They're not going to allow us to put in any more drainage to go outfalls into the intercoastal. We reached our max already, so they're not going to allow us to put another one. So we were going to regrade it so it naturally just drifted off into the intercoastal, so we wouldn't get into any trouble.
It's grading now to the northwest
Can we just
corner.
dump some millings there and not do anything until we check it during the rainy season and go a little further down the road here, since we're just starting phase 2 anyway?
I
That
would
makes sense?
recommend that, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because on the backside next to where the riprap is, the
Yeah, and
rocks
then
that are
you're tearing up
there.
all those valves we just talked about. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything until like October and just, I'll tell Mr. Gottsick or Renee where we are on that as well.
Thank
It
you.
will look better eventually, and then Chief can figure out what he wants down there.
Yeah, I got badgered on Wednesday night for
I
that
got
as
you.
well,
But
so.
Anthony, but we were down there with Anthony Monroe and looking at the grading
They're going to try to regrade it to where it still flows back towards the golf course
towards
Yeah,
on
the
the shell rock.
southwest
Yeah, let's not touch it for a while.
No.
Just check it out and see
Yeah,
what we got.
they still have to regrade all that asphalt
Yeah.
on the end because it's all mangled up and looks bad anyway,
got it.
so.
Have we filed an insurance claim for the damage to the guardrail?
We're in the process of that, yes.
Okay. So just give some thought to, I think we're all in agreement, we need to defer any decision on this until the road work is much further along.
Sure.
But give some thought to whether we want to
Ultimately,
replace the guardrail, want to put some other bollards there instead, or nothing. I think it should be landscaped. I think without landscaping, it's not an attractive element in Gulfstream. Problem is water, but I suspect, I've talked to Mr. Chardak, who lives on Gulfview, that we could probably get water from one of the residents to it. So just give some thought to it as to what we might want to do at the end of Gulfview Road. Okay.
Okay, and finally, Mayor, our new waste hauler did start 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. This will be their second Saturday coming up.
Right, and they've done what I think is a very good job for, a new service here, but we did get a few complaints.
We did,
I think
yes.
Was one of them from the mayor?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Not.
We figured out why they missed him though, so I think we're good.
I mean, of all people.
Of
to
all people,
miss.
yes.
Yes, so, but other than that, I think we were pleased with how the first couple of weeks have gone.
They are right on it when we do complain.
Right.
I mean, they are Johnny on spot.
So that's my report.
Very good. Okay, we've got a new trash hauler. All right, ARPB meeting. Next one is April 24th at 8:30 for anyone who wishes to attend. Finance reports, water and financial reports, Mr. Dunn.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the financial report for March represents 50% of our budget. Mark and I had a conversation, discussed it, and don't find anything out of the ordinary for the financial report or the water report.
Any comments or questions for the manager or for Mark? No? Then let's move on. Chief.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. If you would please accept the report that's been submitted as part of the packet. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it. There's nothing in the report that's unusual or out of the ordinary. Again, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
Very good. Any questions? Accept your report as submitted. All right, next, let's move on to items for commission action. The Centennial Celebration costs.
Yes, sir. You see the invoice that's been included, the statement at $21,939.20. Just need the commission's authority to go ahead and pay this bill.
Very good. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the final bill from the Little Club for the Centennial Celebration.
Second,
Renee?
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Canfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein,
yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. We have a change order, fifth change order.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Dunham.
Yes, sir. And I would ask, where'd he go?
He left.
Can you give me a call? This
Can you
is,
summarize it for us?
after his, do you know the way you felt after his last set of comments? That's the way these things, when he talks to me about them, that's the way I feel. So I need him to
Okay. Well, the change order's been reviewed by our engineers, I'm sure,
yes,
with recommendation.
yes.
Just need to have it
It's can't-
explained a little more detail.
why he left.
Oh, while we're waiting for that,
Yeah, I mean, are there any items by,
any items by,
We have a representative of Gulfstream School here. Mrs. Stasia. They're sending somebody.
Hope to see you at the blood drive, and we've got field day coming up for Friday next, so.
very good. I thought you'd just come in to observe and see
No,
how another
I love to
town.
hear them talk about pipes and drainage.
Right. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Fascinating.
well, she'll enjoy this next conversation
Oh, yeah,
by
we'll get
the
into this
Public
next
Works
one.
Director.
Could give you an update on County Road. The speed limit signs have been changed as we spoke about.
Yes, indeed.
The vegetation that we discussed at the previous two meetings have been installed, looks very nice. And the parking issues that we were experiencing have started to subside. So I think it was effective.
We had a little pushback on that, didn't we?
Yes, we did at the staff level, but once there was a discussion with the town manager, I think the pushback kind of went away.
Okay, good,
So
good.
pushback from St. Andrews?
Yes, yeah. So,
There was discussion about whether it was our property, their property, and
Yeah.
those kind of things. We, of course, already had a survey, so we knew the
Right.
answer to those questions.
so we'll be moving forward with the plantings?
Yes, the plantings are in.
Okay.
Oh, they're in?
They're
Yeah,
in.
they're
I didn't even
in.
know.
Club, yeah. I would like to see
Okay,
Looks okay.
great. Did
So
great.
tried to kind of match what we did on the other, what the
Yeah.
residents did on the other
How
side.
about the irrigation for it?
I believe it's going to be,
Hand?
yes,
Just to get
Exactly.
them started. Wait for the rainy season.
so.
Okay. Hand shadow puppets, anybody know? Yeah, wouldn't,
Wayne, where is Anthony?
wouldn't normally.
That I
be
couldn't
a
tell you, buddy.
Sizable change order.
I can
Okay.
ask, have y'all seen Anthony?
How about you? You're on top of this thing, aren't
This is 38.
No,
This
that
is
ain't Anthony.
38.
Well,
$39,000.
He said he was going inside the town hall, Mr. Drake.
Okay, he's not, Wayne, he's not here. Can you check the restroom?
All right, well, I have to go, let me leave this spot.
This is,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Deeply.
I could issue a warrant for him.
Be on the
I think the
lookout.
officer seen him.
A bolo.
I mean, it shouldn't be that complicated. The vice mayor, who's normally on top of these things, I suspect he is now,
well, this is,
just reviewing this and will
again.
probably give us a summary.
Can you add anything to this?
Greg, is this stuff still, is this also part of the valves we're doing at the end of Gulfview as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so primarily this is these items, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 which also include the new valves we talked about, which are gonna tear up the end of Gulfview, which you couldn't turn off, and some other work that we requested. Here he is.
Sorry, I thought you guys were done with it.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
discuss the change?
38,000 change order, right?
Yes,
Cole?
that's the one for the additional valve in the
Right.
box and the new pipe run with the new 90 that's being on the outside of the fence line.
Right, and this
Because
is,
there's a whole bunch of utilities. There's a power there that's on the corner. The old water main for the golf course, and then the new water main that they have running this literally right on top of it.
in layman's terms, this is the point of entry from Plaza Soleil. So we're
Yes.
redoing all the valves. So we don't have any more problems. And the
Correct.
system down there is new, which we had to do.
Yes.
And that's primarily all the 38,000.
And that's what they're doing at 2900. That's
Right.
causing all this ruckus right now because they
Why
rerouted
wasn't
it.
this included in the original?
It was, Mr. Mayor, the original design of it was to go in between the light structure and the fence line, but there's too many utilities there in the way. So I had to have Baxter and Woodman reroute it and find out after they dug everything up to see how they can move it back away from it and closer to the intercoastal side so I can snake it back in and go in a 90.
The valves are bad and we have to move it. So
Unfortunately.
And
now the valves should have probably maybe been in the initial bid, but we still have
Right.
a change order for everything. But
So,
when we move
Anthony,
the valves, we might as well put new ones in. So.
I told you somebody would ask why this, it was designed not to include this in the original design.
Correct. They designed it per plan of what I gave them as the as-bills that we had. But until, unfortunately, like, construction everywhere, it's unforeseen to see what you run into until you expose it. I had them expose it and we ended up finding all these issues.
And you're gonna try to move this up, as we just mentioned 20 minutes ago.
Yes, sir.
We're containing this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
When they start on Gulfstream, I'm going to request. I always remember that our request isn't a demand and they won't jump on it right away. I'm going to request for them to do that while they start doing what they need to do because they have the manpower to do it. There's no reason why they can't. He says he's willing to help me to get this taken care of. He wanted to try to do it today. There's no way. I'm not doing that on a Friday. If it was Monday, it would be something completely different, but it's Friday. Because if something happens on Friday during the weekend, then he would be out of water the whole entire weekend. And I'm not doing that.
All right, well, I think between yours and Mr. Stanley's explanations, we understand.
Yeah.
So,
It's not something that I wanted to have done, Mayor. Unfortunately, it's because all the utilities that are in that area is so congested that the only alternative that I had was to push it out further west, another 8 feet, I think it was, to be able to 90 it and then 45 it, kind of a 22 at an angle back into the same vault. So we don't have to do any extra work on the vault itself with the exception of adding a new valve to it.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, very
Thanks,
good.
Anthony.
Okay, so I got a motion to approve the change order with regard to the pipes and valves at the end of Gulfview, totaling $39,035.46.
Second,
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Canfield,
yes,
Commissioner Orthwyne,
yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley,
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
yes. Any other comments by commissioners? Again, the blood drive is,
It's April 22nd from 7:30 to 2:30.
9 a.m. for residents.
9 to 1 for residents.
Yes.
all right, thank you all for coming.
Don't